Good afternoon. My name is Philip Nelson, and I'm doing a speech today on the fentanyl and opioid epidemic that is going on here in America and also worldwide. The objective of this speech is to bring awareness to the public about fentanyl, about its harmful effects that it's having on the community as well. Let's start off by asking a question. Did you know that 1 kilogram of fentanyl has the ability to kill over 500,000 people? This is quite alarming. In America, approximately 193 people die each day as a direct result of synthetic opioids such as fentanyl. Fentanyl is being placed in other drugs such as methamphetamine, cocaine, marijuana. Now this is important. Not every drug user is knowingly using fentanyl. A small speck of fentanyl has the ability to kill you. It's almost the size of a granule of salt. It's being pressed into pills as well to mimic other opioid painkillers. No drug is safe to abuse, but even now, just the everyday marijuana user who's never used an opioid in their life is subjected to fentanyl now and could have a potential overdose as a result of this. And this is why overdose deaths are on the rise here in America. Let's take a look at what makes fentanyl such a dangerous and potent substance. Fentanyl is one of the strongest drugs in the world. Even in the smallest doses, this drug has the potential to cause death. According to the article Facts About Fentanyl, fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that could be up to 50 times stronger than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. There's two types of fentanyl: pharmaceutical fentanyl and illicit, distributed illegally fentanyl. It's great in the use of like after surgery. It's great for those that have severe pain. And for those who have like advanced stages of cancer. Illegally made fentanyl, it's so popular on the streets because it's, like I said earlier, 1 granule of salt size of fentanyl has enough to kill you. So the potency of it makes other drugs stronger. It makes them cheaper, it makes them more addictive, and again, more powerful. A lethal dose of fentanyl is about 2 milligrams, or 0.002 grams. In comparison, to show how lethal fentanyl is, morphine has a lethal dose anywhere between 30 milligrams and 500 milligrams. Now that we understand why fentanyl is such a dangerous substance, let's take a look at some stats to show the effects that fentanyl is having on your community. The facts about fentanyl highlight the main reasons of why drug overdoses have been on the rise the past few years. Here are some numbers about fentanyl and opioid overdoses. And I use the term opioid mixed in with fentanyl. It is a synthetic opioid, but on a lot of times on the street, when people are buying illicit drugs off the street, they are going there to buy one thing and they are getting fentanyl. And like I said, they're often laced in heroin and other opioid painkillers. So people really just don't know what they're buying. And if they're being subjected to fentanyl and they don't know what they're buying, this raises their tolerance and the potential for overdose. According to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, in 2021 there were over 100,000 cases of fatal drug overdoses in the United States. Another staggering number about that of these 100,000 cases is that 76,975 of those were directly related to fentanyl and other opioids. Here in Maryland in 2020, opioid and fentanyl related deaths nearly doubled from the previous year in 2020. In Baltimore City alone in the year of 2020, there were 964 deaths related to fentanyl opioid overdoses. And this has tripled the number of homicides in Baltimore City that year. So, as if violence isn't bad enough, the drug trade in Baltimore City, it's just leading to more and more violence, leading to more and more death. And it's It's staggering. The numbers are staggering. In the state of Maryland alone, there were 2,343 overdose deaths involving fentanyl alone, and that's just in Maryland. Fentanyl and opioids, they have some certain signs as to what an overdose looks like, and it's always good to be aware of what these signs are, just so we know what the plan is. It's important to be aware of the signs of an opioid or fentanyl overdose. In an article written by the Addiction Resource editorial staff, the top 8 signs of a fentanyl overdose are pinpoint pupils, loss of consciousness, decreased breathing, choking or gurgling, limp body, cold or clammy skin, discolored lips or nails, and being unresponsive. A lot of times, if you see somebody who is overdosing on fentanyl, they will turn blue. Their lips will turn blue, and they will look unresponsive. Their eyes will start rolling into the back of their head. And there's some steps. First thing would be to call 911. Second thing is you have to be aware of an opioid user who is overdosing. They may be vomiting, so it's important to roll them onto their side. Okay, and then there's also a substance called Narcan. Narcan can be used to reverse the effects of opioids. It can be used in a nasal spray or an injection. After you apply, sometimes the fentanyl is so strong, and this is another danger of fentanyl. Fentanyl is so strong, sometimes it doesn't work for those who are overdosing on fentanyl, okay? Sometimes somebody who is overdosing on fentanyl will have to be injected or nasal sprayed with fentanyl 3, 4, 5 times. Another dangerous thing is said that if a user of opioids or fentanyl has overdosed on a few different occasions, Narcan may no longer work, and that's what is so dangerous about this drug. Narcan is very, very useful in reversing the effects of opioids. So it's good to have those on hand. If you have a loved one that you know that is suffering from opioid addiction or fentanyl addiction, it's a good idea to keep Narcan around. Narcan can be found at any pharmacy. They give it away for free. So that's a good source for that. In conclusion, fentanyl is definitely one of the most dangerous drugs out there. It has a devastating impact on our society, both locally and globally. The crime rates go up. It's highly addicting. Fentanyl is highly addicting. Withdrawal symptoms and the fear of withdrawal drives a lot of users to commit crime. So the crime rate is going up in the area as well. So it has a direct effect on all areas of your life. As a matter of fact, fentanyl and opioid overdoses are one of the leading causes of death for people between the ages of 18 and 45. I hope that the audience learned about the impact that fentanyl and opioids have in our world. I hope the audience has a firm grasp on what makes this substance so dangerous, and also what could be done to help those who are suffering from opioid addiction. If you or a loved one you know is suffering from opioid or fentanyl addiction, help is available. There are websites at your disposal such as SAMHSA, which is Substance Abuse and Mental Health, and they have a list of treatment centers that you could go to. They have information on how to get health insurance for somebody as well. They offer other types of funding for treatment as well. So there is help available. Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous is available in all over the world and in your community, and that is also free. And according to SAMHSA, nearly 1 out of 3 adults suffer from substance abuse issues. So to bring awareness to the community about this, this topic is important because it can touch home at any point. Thank you.